welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
That's very high energy beginning every week, Nelson. Do you think that we get people too excited and then it's nothing?
It's a letdown
downhill,
from
yeah.
Yeah.
Though maybe I'll match you because Nelson, I just had a sugary drink.
Oh, Campbell.
So I haven't had one of those in a while. Maybe I'm going to be up, but then at some point,
Massive
down,
crash
down,
down.
down. Yeah.
Massive crash down.
yeah, and real suddenly as well.
We should, halfway through the show,
Have a nap.
Maybe,
I agree.
I was going to say cocaine. Is that...
You do cocaine, I'll have a nap.
And then we'll see who's peppier.
Yeah.
And then that will be the ruling from then on as to how
What
we
we do.
proceed with the shows. We'll either have a nap where there will just be 15 minutes of silence every show.
Because we won't.
All right, now let's get into napping.
Well, I'll have to add an extra pad that's just like lullaby music.
yeah. Sounds of the sea or something like that. That'd be great. You know what? I actually went to a wedding this weekend.
Yeah.
And sort of between the ceremony and then, waiting around while they're doing photos and then...
Took a nap.
Well, I was like, I could definitely go and nap.
Oh, yeah. I feel that with every wedding.
I feel like there needs to be... At my wedding, there'll be the napping pods, like the Google napping pods that,
love that.
it's in there. And I'm just like, all right, everybody...
See you in 40 minutes?
Yeah. 40 minutes, maybe a little longer.
I think, even when I go to a wedding, I'm tired by the time the ceremony is over and the reception's beginning.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like to be the bride or the groom.
Yeah.
So would
They're
you...
normally up at the crack of dawn?
Would you set your ceremony an hour earlier than it needs to be so you got an hour off?
Okay.
Take a nap.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because you know how sometimes they come in...
You know what? This is what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to put it across 2 days.
So I meet on Saturday for the ceremony.
Yeah.
We'll
go home.
Knock that on the head about 4.
have a good night's sleep.
And
come back. Then we'll do the party sort of
yeah.
thing early in the morning the next day. Or not early in the morning, obviously. Like midday-ish.
Yeah, 11-ish.
Yeah. Why does nobody do that? It's a brilliant idea.
Crazy.
Actually, I think don't Indian weddings go on for traditional Indian weddings?
But I don't think they stop,
quite,
do they?
Quite a few weeks or something.
That's too much.
Yeah, they've gone the wrong.
We want 1 day across 2.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good to get these ideas out there, Kemba. All right, but Kemba, I want to start this episode. It's kind of it's the beginning of Reddit on Reddit.
I was going to say the beginning of the end. I was going to be like,
beginning
what?
of the end. Say your prayers. Anyway, I was actually listening to another podcast.
What?
I know.
I've told you about that.
Yeah, I know, but it's only to steal their ideas. So it wasn't for enjoyment by any means.
I don't want to get you, I don't want you to get any ideas about quality or consistency.
Yeah.
Or editing, obviously.
Yeah, editing. Actually, I don't think these people edit, so it was fine. But they mentioned a particular song. Mm-hmm. And I instantly stopped listening to their podcast straight away. Yeah, and I went onto Spotify and had to listen to this song. And I was blown away by this song.
Okay.
And so you might have heard this before. And if you have, it's going to be a slight bit of letdown, I think. But if not, I'm hoping at least some of the listeners out there maybe haven't heard this before. I think it came out quite a while ago, like October 2019. So,
but you want to kick the show off with a mystery song.
A mystery song. It goes for about 1:20, so it's a little bit long, but I wanted to get a decent amount in there.
I'll go take a nap.
Okay. All right, so play the song.
Do you wanna know a secret? I know that you'll never keep it. Promise, try to keep it simple for you. High up in the clouds, like you're so special. Like I never heard that before. Gotta break it to you gentle. But maybe I don't. Maybe I won't be the nice guy for once. 'Cause you're past the point of my crisis. You think you're so cool, acting like the fucking dude. Was spilling out like a fool.
What did you think, Cambo?
I don't mind it.
Pretty catchy tune, right?
Catchy tune, yeah.
Maybe even, a little bit at the start, it's got a bit of a sexy voice, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
a bit of like a sexy kind of...
There's like a trend at the moment with people like Sia and Billie Eilish. They're a little whispery and raspy, and it has a little bit of that in it.
Yeah. I listened to this song probably like 5 times in a row because I was blown away, Cambo. But why do you think I might have been blown away?
Is it someone you wouldn't expect singing the song?
Yes. I'm going to say someone that almost everybody knows. But you were like, after hearing that, you'd be like, nah, I'm sorry. Not true.
Okay, first call for big surprises. Is it a female?
Yes. Okay. Good. That's true. Yeah.
Tracy Chapman has fooled me. When I was a kid, I used to think that was a guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it someone maybe a bit daggy? Yes. Not considered that cool.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it Martha Stewart?
Yes.
What about age bracket? In the 40s, 50s, in the 30s, 20s?
20s.
Okay, so young but a little bit daggy.
Yeah.
Oh. Everyone that's young is cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I see them on TikTok all the time. And I'm like, man, those are some cool dudes.
Is it, I don't know, 20s?
I think I might have to give this to you, Cambo, because I think even if I gave you a million years.
My random guess, apropos of nothing, and they're not 20 yet, so take that into consideration.
Okay.
Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things.
No. Cambo, the person you just heard singing that song is none other than Rebecca Black.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. Oh my God.
Wow.
What the hell happened?
She got better.
She got a lot better. I was so blown away by this. I couldn't believe it. As soon as so I was listening to this other podcast and they're like, I heard Rebecca Black's song. Turns out not that bad. That's why I was like, no, stop this podcast right now. I need to go and I need to listen to this song and I need to see how much he is lying. And as I started to listen to it, I was like, holy shit, this isn't like just the fact that she's got a good voice, which she does. It's funny, I think some of the comments and stuff are like, oh, she's auto-tuned and stuff. It's like people are still just paying her out to this day.
To be fair, I don't think the problem with Friday was necessarily that she wasn't a great singer. It was that it was just a bad song. She sung it fine.
No, I went back and listened. Oh, did you? I was so curious. I was like, oh my God, maybe she's never been a bad singer. Well, look, I'm not saying she was very young at the time.
Yeah.
And the world was so critical of her.
Oh yeah. But there was a really great. It was like I don't remember. I saw it on YouTube. I don't know whether it was made for YouTube or ripped off TV.
Yeah.
But it was about her. Because what was the song, like 12 years ago or so? Friday came out.
Yeah.
And she was just explaining her life since then in that time. And I guess I'd not really considered it since, but after watching, I was like, man, I feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
Because essentially she's just like, I don't know, I was like 15 and I wanted to be a singer. And this guy came today, we'll record a song for you. And we just put it online for me and my friends.
Yeah.
And then before I knew it, there's people I don't know being like, you're the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
And she's like, but the thing is, I lost all of my friends because none of my friends wanted to be associated with that girl from YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
So she's like, at the same time, I got to go and meet Katy Perry. That same year, I lost all of my friends. And I had no one to hang out with on the weekends.
Yeah.
She's like, so it's like, everyone's like, oh, it wasn't so bad, was it? But they don't see the long-term effects of her just being completely alone for 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And in fact, I'm glad you mentioned this because I thought, well, I better tie this back into Reddit because that's our podcast. But I did, so I found this post. I knew it was going to be there. This was not that long ago, posted 27 days ago, so early February sometime. And this post is by Jacob Lindner. Rebecca Black reflects on Friday being released 9 years ago today. Every day is a new opportunity to shift your reality and lift your spirit. You're not defined by any one choice or thing. So let me read you this post by her.
Great.
9 years ago today, a music video for a song called Friday was uploaded to the internet.
I've not heard of it.
Above all things, I just wish I could go back and talk to my 13-year-old self who was terribly ashamed of herself and afraid of the world. To my 15-year-old self who felt like she had nobody to talk to about the depression she faced. To my 17-year-old self who would get to school only to get food thrown at her and her friends. Still had friends. To my 19-year-old self who had almost every producer/songwriter tell me they'd never work with me. Hell, to myself a few days ago who felt disgusting when she looked in the mirror. I'm trying to remind myself more and more that every day is a new opportunity to shift your reality and lift your spirit. You are not defined by any one choice or thing. Time heals and nothing is finite. It's a process that's never too late to begin. And so here we go. This might be a weird thing to post, but the honesty feels good, if nothing else.
Oh, nice. Okay, so it seems that she is in a far better place. It's only taken 9 years, almost a decade of her life.
Yeah.
13 when that was released.
It makes me think that the internet should bully more people.
But
a lot when they're really young and only just developing.
The problem is because there will be people that will say, well, she's 13. She's never going to make a good song. But then you consider the first album by Silverchair, Frog Stomp. They were 14 when they made that.
Right, yeah.
That's only a year difference. So maybe she just needed to wait that extra year.
Yeah,
And she would have had what is still one of like the most iconic Australian albums of all time. It was made by a bunch of 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I love this. And like, after reading that and then after listening to her song, I had so much respect, I think, for the fact that she, had the sort of like courage or the strength to come back and actually make something of herself. Like, and I think it is crazy, like, I mean, it was, I mean, the thing was, it was a really bad song.
Yeah.
It's not like...
But also, she didn't write the song, right?
She didn't...
Someone wrote it for her.
Yeah, she didn't write the song. Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a middle-aged guy writing for a teenage girl.
Yeah,
because that's how the song sounds.
Yeah, exactly. But... and so like she shouldn't be expected to do a good job when she's that young, and she just got that like crazy bit of fame for the wrong reasons so early. But to be able to come out on the other side of that and actually still pursue something that she's super passionate in, like you could imagine just completely giving up on singing after after that point, and you would not blame her at all. But the fact she's gone through and like faced all this stuff, I was like, man, I have so much respect for her.
And I do think there is like people just hold on to their first impressions. Like they honestly, they really, really do.
Yeah.
So everyone's first impression of her was obviously Friday, but even when you look at someone like Robert Pattinson, say, like I think you and I have both seen since the days that he was in Twilight some really good Robert Pattinson performances.
Yeah.
But now that he's going to be Batman, you've got all these people that are still like, oh, Twilight.
Yeah.
But it's all that they will ever think of someone is that first impression. I think there are people that just always hold on to that.
Yeah, not me, Kembo. I was always Team Edward. Yeah. So.
And
I want him to play every
that
role.
guy's the biggest movie star there is.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to Jacob, that fucking tool? Turned into a dog. No, thank you. All right, Kembo. Let's get into Ask Reddit then. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by Metaphor. Obviously, it's not by Metaphor.
Yeah, cross-posted.
He just cross-posted it to our subreddit, which is much appreciated because it's one less thing that I have to look into.
Yeah, you are actually making our life easier by doing that, so thank you.
Yeah. If you could do the rest. I normally have like 2 from each section, roughly, maybe a few more shower thoughts. And also, if you can come up with podnapping
would be really good. Yeah.
Thanks,
I will also extend
Metaphor.
that invite if you want to do podnapping for me as well.
Yeah. But anyway, this original post was actually by King Flares.
Not as cool.
No, that's cool. In 2019, Pornhub released statistics that showed step porn is trending downwards worldwide, but hentai is rising, especially in Russia. How can we use this information to foster world peace?
Well, I think porn statistics, just having them could help foster world peace because you go to all the leaders of the world and be like, we know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So you use these trade deals or these whatever.
Okay.
Denuke. Everyone denuke or releasing all the stuff. Trump would denuke like that.
Yeah. No, I don't think
he wouldn't.
he's said publicly before how he would date his own daughter.
Yeah.
And
plus they'd come out and he'd just be like, fake.
Yeah.
It's fake.
No, I think, it would come out as,
Ivanka.
stepdaughter porn or something.
No, just
and
be
we'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I haven't been keeping it a secret. And we'd be like, oh yeah, that's true.
So someone with a little more shame.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I think just the fact that the step porn is trending downwards we're already on the right path towards world peace. Like at the peak of that, we were in a nasty place.
It seems to be step sibling porn was at an all-time high trending.
Yeah.
And what happened is this country caught on fire.
Yeah.
There's a virus trying to wipe out people.
Yeah.
The earth is correcting itself.
Yeah.
But now we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Hentai. Still not real life, is it? But is that better because people aren't exploited?
I think that's better.
Yeah, it's true.
No one's exploited.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the animator.
I was going to say the people that do the voiceovers. They still probably.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awkward being in a studio and just doing sex noises for a living?
That would be kind of weird. Though, I would do it for the right amount of money. Because...
And you know what? Not much.
Yeah. I don't know if you would be able to tell it's me grunting, you know?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I reckon I can get away with it. I don't know if anyone has a grunt or a moan so unique that you'd be like, oh my God, that's definitely Nelson.
That's definitely them. I think maybe... Yeah, probably not. I mean, but what if you... Okay, here's the scenario. What if you watched a lot of porn? A lot of hentai porn.
Let me try and imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm there.
Well, it's a real struggle. Okay. You watch a lot of hentai porn.
Yep.
And then you start sleeping with somebody. And you're like, I know those sounds.
But I feel like...
Are you the octopus in the that weird hentai show? Yeah. Hentai is actually pretty weird. There's some weird hentai out there.
Yeah,
there's some that's just
there's some weird
just cartoons having sex with each other,
Right.
you know. But there's stuff that's like, if you're using cartoons, the world is your oyster. How weird the sex can get.
Sometimes I'm led to believe, Nelson.
Yeah.
On porn websites, there's like weird. The pop-up ads always surprise me because sometimes they're pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Singles in your area.
Yeah.
And the such. Live webcams, whatever. But every now and then there's one and it'll be like people from like Family Guy or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
And you're just like,
who
wants
to
that
watch
horny?
this? Yeah, exactly.
Like if it's like
or The Simpsons or something.
Sexy hentai characters maybe because they're designed to be sexy.
Yeah.
But like a lovable family sitcom.
Yeah. I've never wanted to see Marge Simpson naked. Not once in my life have I thought about this.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Yeah.
But you know what? Whatever floats your boat.
Not
Not exploiting anyone, except for obviously the intellectual property of Matt Groening.
Yeah.
But he's rich enough.
He's got enough money. He's got Futurama. Yeah. I haven't seen any Futurama porn. No, I think I have, actually.
There'll definitely be Futurama porn.
Actually, I remember seeing this one picture once before, which was a photo of Leela, but she has one boob. This is funny.
That's a good joke.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, are we using this? Have we used it to foster world peace?
I just said to blackmail all of the world leaders with their their statistics.
So is this really, are we saying the trick to world peace is blackmail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's always going to be blackmail. Name a better way to get world peace. Go.
Flowers.
Yeah, with a note that says, we know what
it says. We know you have a flower fetish. We'll tell everyone.
Do not fuck these flowers. But then also we'll send them the sexiest flowers.
Oh, yeah. That'll really get them. Well, then that's turned into bribery, I think.
But we want to tempt them because there's a camera in there.
Denuke, and we'll send you all the flowers you want.
You like it? You like this? There's plenty more where that came from.
We've got a whole farm full of them. That's so ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Here's another one, Cambe. This is by Elgoon007. If marriages were 5 to 10 year contracts with options to renew if both parties accept, how would the world be different?
Interesting. Mm-hmm. It's not a bad situation.
I really like the concept, actually. Yeah. I was like, I think this is kind of a joke, but then the more you think about it, you're more like, actually, this sort of works.
Yeah, what is the average length of a marriage in 2020?
Yeah.
I bet you it's around that. Probably. The divorce rate is increasingly getting higher and higher. Though actually I think that's petered out some.
Yeah.
In the last decade or so, actually.
Right, okay.
I think.
Yeah. It's because
I don't know.
The step porn is trending down. Well,
good things happening.
Yeah, you have less step brothers and sisters with divorces, so people weren't interested anymore.
But it would obviously make for awkward conversations, right? At the 10-year mark, say.
Yeah.
Do you want to renew? Yes. The other one says no. Mm-hmm. But it's still not as awkward a conversation as I want a divorce.
Yeah. Or to not have the conversation and be in a crushing, depressing relationship for years and years before you finally feel up the courage to okay, we have to end this.
Yeah. Maybe see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Although I think the funny thing is that if this was just a reality 100% of the time, it was always just contracts for a certain period of time, I think there would be this thing where it's a tradition that you pack up all your stuff in the house the month before you both renew, regardless of what you're going to say, right?
Right.
So it's just the a ceremony almost. Maybe you have a party over.
Yep. Can I say though, I think that there would be people 10 years into marriage that get pretty lazy. And I think this would keep you on your toes in that 9th year.
Yeah.
To be I really step it up a notch. If I want this to keep going, and obviously I do, I'm really going to do something. And I think it would also give you an excuse after 10 years to take a second honeymoon if you re-sign, which I think some people just skip over their 10th anniversary, be whatever, anniversaries are dumb.
Yeah. Okay.
But you would be oh my God, we've both agreed 10 more years, let's go to Hawaii.
Yeah. That's really interesting, actually. But then, wouldn't you think that I can imagine in this world, there's stories of actually then having a shorter contract is better because then people are less likely to get lazy. If they were lazy for 8 years and then the last 2 they picked up the game again, you'd be oh, well, they've been so good for 2 years. I'll sign another 10-year contract. And then they go back to being lazy again or whatever. So maybe shorter contracts are more desirable because people put in the effort a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then there'll be stories about oh, did you hear Julie and Jeff went from a 2-year contract to a 15-year contract, and Jeff is totally off the bandwagon, and he's drinking all the time, and Julie's stuck in this contract.
I can also imagine, if there are different variations of length, you get a 2-year, 5-year, a 10-year, a 15-year, a 20-year.
Yeah.
And one person's let's go 15, and the other one's I was thinking 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
just
true.
Let's just see how this goes for 2 years, and then we'll check again.
Well, maybe that's a bit of a standard when you start a marriage. It's always, the common thing to do. And again, people talk about, oh my God, did you hear? Julie and Jeff just got married. They went straight into a 20-year contract. What are they thinking? I've seen this done before, and it almost always never works. You got to start with a small contract.
So, but if after 5 or 10 years or whatever you choose, you decide let's not be married anymore, does that technically count as a divorce, or is your record still clean? You're I was married for 10 years.
Nah.
We decided that we weren't going to be married after the contract, but you didn't get a divorce.
It's not a divorce.
Okay.
It's a contract just ends. That's fine. I think, it's if a player enters a contract with a club, if they don't renew that contract, it's not that the player was fired or anything.
Okay, so a club, is there the possibility that someone else towards the end of their contract is your contract's expiring?
Yeah.
Come over to my club.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think that could be it, right? Yeah. Just multiple relationships with...
Do you think infidelity would be down? Because you'd be
You'd wait. You're I've got only another 2 years on my contract. Sweet.
Let's do this the proper way.
Yeah.
I've got 2 years left on my contract.
I don't want to break the law.
I'll run that out, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, if you've got 2 years left of a 10-year contract, you don't want to go through a messy divorce.
Yeah.
You just wait the 2 years.
Wait the 2 years. So much easier. Do you think that we'd be married already if this was the case? Because I feel like marriages are perhaps a little bit more frivolous. Like you could get married really young because you're like, oh, well, it doesn't have to be
17,
forever.
who gives a shit?
Yeah. Kids becomes tricky, I've decided.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you start a 2-year contract with somebody, have a kid, kid's kind of for life.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky. Or contract with a kid. I only want to be your father for
5 years.
For 5 years.
But I don't want the first 5. They're tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You would have so many contracts for all the different relationships in your life.
Yeah, kids does throw a big spanner. Like always, kids have ruined this.
Oh my God. Kids are the worst.
Like everything else that's good in life, along come kids and ruin it for everyone else having fun.
Yep. Like when you're in a ball pit.
Yep. Yep.
Don't you hate it?
You're just
When
having
you're having a great
you're
time.
having a relaxing time in the ball pit.
Yeah.
Just relaxing.
Then
it's like a deprivation tank.
Yeah. And the kids come in
Throw
and they're
balls at
like,
you.
what are you doing in here? You're far too old. And you're like, oh, shut up. And they poop everywhere. And so annoying. Anyway, Cambo, I think we should move on and get into Today I Advise. So now it's time for Today I Learned. Today I learned. And also sometimes advice. This advice is by Walking After Midnight.
Ooh.
8. They've asked how to let shit go / develop a thicker skin. They said, they kind of went on to say, I'm just going to summarize. They were in a job where they were selling like land insurance or something, house insurance. And when they called people, they were very angry.
Yep.
And they said they're okay with managing them, but then they can't let go of that feeling. Somebody told them to like F off.
Yep.
And they were, felt like they held on to it for such a long time. And I thought this was maybe a good one.
Yeah.
How do you develop a thicker skin?
It's a good question. I think the it really does help to have a sense of humor about yourself.
Yeah,
It's a big factor.
Yeah.
Like I think you and I are pretty good at someone saying something about us. We're like, well,
Yeah.
that's pretty true.
Yeah. I am the worst.
That being said, I don't know if we've ever had anyone really maliciously be like, you piece of absolute shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to judge.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. I know exactly where this person's coming from, I reckon. I actually have had customer interactions that I still think about that, like, they got angry at something I said. Yeah. And it's like so inconsequential, basically, in the real scheme of things. But I still think about it sometimes. But
I still remember the time I think I've even told this on the show before. The time in which my filter between my brain and my mouth just lapsed. And I had said something and I'm like, oh no, this is definitely going to make things way worse now. It was back when we used to both work in cinemas. Right. And a lot of the time, one of the common things is if there's a big line, people are upset that there's a big line.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, I was managing at the time. So he was yelling at one of the young girls.
Yeah.
I thought, well, that's not on. So I'll come and deflect the anger.
Yeah.
So then he started yelling at me.
Yeah.
And he was going on this rant about why don't you run the cinema like an airport? Yeah. At an airport, if your flight is about to leave, you get priority service to get you onto the plane. Why don't you do that with sessions that are starting soon? Yeah. And without thinking, I said, well, because your cinema's not going to get up and fly away.
Yeah.
Oh boy, he didn't like that. But I still I remember that feeling of my heart sinking. In that moment, being
oh, should have said that. Yeah.
Because then I got yelled at for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't say a cool line and then walk away, with my jacket flung over my shoulder. I just stood there being like, yes, sir. Absolutely so. Yeah.
Yeah. You should have pretended at that moment to be like a plane and fly away from the conversation, I think that really would have
arms spread out.
That would have been the best way to end that conversation. Cinemas don't fly away. Me, on the other hand.
Hello there. I'm going to be flying at an altitude of 6 feet from the ground, and I'll be arriving at 3 hills down there.
Yeah. Yeah. See you never.
If you look straight forward, you'll see me not caring.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's so good. Oh, I wish I could have done that now. But yeah, I think this is what I've kind of come to realize, I think, a little bit, is like, well, there's sort of two things. One thing I find, as soon as I tell somebody else about that experience I've had, it makes me feel so much better about it, and I think about it way less.
Yeah.
I feel like, because sometimes you need to tell somebody and for them to be like, hey, or just to be like, oh, that guy was a dickhead or whatever, and you're like, oh, good.
Honestly, even if someone else is like, man, that sucks.
Yeah,
you are kind of like, yeah, it does suck.
It does suck.
And I'm allowed to think that now.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah, that's right. You stop beating yourself up as much over it because you like have kind of validation about the situation.
It's quantified. It does suck.
Yeah, that's right. But also, I think there is something about just the, I mean, in the same sense, I think if you just acknowledge it for yourself, like sometimes I'll have a bad conversation with somebody and I'll be like, I'm going to be thinking about this forever.
Yeah.
And I just need to like accept the fact that I need, like, I'm going to get over it eventually. Yeah. I'm going to stop thinking about it. But for the next like month, this is all I'm going to be thinking about.
And sometimes as well, I do this thing, if I'm ever feeling like, you know, a bit down or anything like that, in a way that I'm like, I don't think that this is necessarily worth feeling this way.
Yeah.
I do sometimes, I sit down and I just start listing things. I'm like, got a house. That's good.
Yeah.
Got money in my bank account. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
And then by the end, after about 5 or 6, you're like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Things are generally okay. There was one shitty thing, but look at all these other things as well. And I actually, like, I do that mentally in my head whenever I, you know, like you go for a job interview and you don't get the job and you feel down about yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
And you start going, I've got a job now. I've got a house. I've got a car. I've got, you know.
Yeah. That's right. What if, Camber, you have none of those things?
Oh, my God.
You're a sick, homeless person without a car. Well, you've got a car. It's just not Tesla.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What's the point?
What? Just get rid of it.
Yeah. Because you got a Tesla, you got a house.
Yeah.
We've established this many episodes ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Then what do you do, Camber? Come up with a solution for that guy.
Let me think.
Oh, girl. Okay.
You got a bridge? Bridge sleep under?
You got a bridge sleep under.
Not everyone's got a bridge.
Sometimes stray animals befriend you. Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, so...
Sometimes you're sleeping somewhere that you shouldn't be allowed to sleep, but the guy's like, nah, he's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah.
We're not going to disturb him. But then also there's other times where they're like, hey, get the hell out of here.
We've let you sleep there a couple of
times. Yeah. Okay. Oh, boy. I feel bad about laughing about that. This is... okay. Anyway, let's get into another one, Cambo. Okay. This is by Numerous Lemon. Today I learned that Nicolas Cage spent $150 million on a 70 million year old dinosaur skull, a tomb, $150,000 first edition Superman comic, Action Heroes. What's that?
Action Comics #1.
Yes, I knew you'd know. Yep. Pygmy.
How much did you pay for it?
$150,000.
It's a good price.
It's like a million, over a million. Yeah. Pygmy heads, 2 European castles, one worth 10 million and the other 2.6 million, and 15 residences. He later had to return the skull to the Mongolian government.
Nick Cage is in a lot of debt, if people don't know this.
Yes, because of the stupid
because of all the things he listed. And not only did he spend $150,000 on a issue of Action Comics #1, got stolen.
It was stolen.
It's stolen from him.
And then, wasn't the story that he then he claimed insurance on it, and then they recovered it, like found the stolen copy, but he didn't have enough money to pay back, because you need to then pay the insurance company back because you've got the product back. But he didn't have enough money to buy the comic again. I'm pretty sure it was like how that worked.
Yeah.
And then that's
so. If you've ever wondered, because Nicolas Cage, to be clear, and maybe some like people younger than us might not know, like Academy Award winning actor.
Yeah.
For a while, very respected Hollywood leading man actor. Why he does these inexplicable movies.
Yeah.
He's got a huge tax debt.
Yeah.
He'll do anything.
Yeah.
And sometimes, by pure coincidence, he makes a good movie.
Yeah.
And he doesn't
If
mean
you
it.
do 1,000 of them,
Yeah.
if we did 1,000 movies, one of them would be
It is the infinite amount of monkeys on the infinite amount of typewriters will eventually write the complete works of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
That's Nicolas Cage making a good movie. Because I don't reckon he even knows which ones are good.
I know, yeah.
Because sometimes he'll just be interviewed. He's like, yeah, man, it's fun, I guess. But he says that about every movie he ever makes.
Yeah.
So every now and then when he makes a good one,
Yeah.
he's like, cool. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. I'm
busy. I'm shooting right now.
Yeah. It's about a shark that gets a job in the city. Okay.
I have a feeling it won't be one of the good ones. But there are a couple of people like that. In fact, just the other night, apropos of nothing other than it came up recommended on the stream of the streaming services.
Yes.
Stacey and I watched Rush Hour.
Great film.
It's a great film.
Love Rush Hour.
More casual racism than I remember.
Oh, really? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. It was at a different time.
Yeah. You know what? A great film.
Yeah.
But the story always was...
I'm for sure going to go home and watch that, just so you know.
1 and 2 are on Netflix. Number 3 is on Stan. What do you think about that?
I guess confusing.
I've never seen number 3. But the story always was that Chris Tucker, because they weren't contracted, they were contracted like the first Rush Hour.
Yeah.
So then the second Rush Hour, he got a huge payday.
Yeah.
And then the third Rush Hour, he got like mega bucks.
Yeah.
And then he essentially just didn't make films for ages.
Yeah.
He was like, I made so much money just doing those 3 films.
Yeah.
So when we were watching it, that came up, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, whatever." Chris Tucker, didn't he make all that money? And then so we looked him up,
Yeah.
and he lost all of his money.
Oh, no.
And he owes millions of dollars.
Oh, no. It doesn't surprise me. But he does have an awesome dinosaur skull, I've heard.
Yeah.
So that is something.
And he once stole that copy of Action Comics #1 from Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. I think it's funny that people do seem to... not that I can think of another example, but I just feel like I know that it happens. People, when you get enough money, you just buy weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, I vaguely remember Leonardo DiCaprio buying some weird, like, freaking, I don't know, vase or some shit.
So this is not exactly on the topic, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
There is there's a production company, a movie production company called Red Granite.
Yeah.
And you've probably even seen the logo before movies because they produce movies like The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
They produced like the Daddy's Home movies. They produce like legitimate Hollywood movies.
Yeah.
And they were founded by someone that is behind something called 1MDB, which is like an investment firm.
Yeah.
Which was found out a couple of years ago to be doing exactly what the Wolf of Wall Street were doing, ripping people off and stealing investors' money.
Yep.
And the Wolf of Wall Street was funded through money that was stolen from other people's investment funds to fund that movie about Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
But part of the thing that they did is they gave Leonardo DiCaprio, they gave him Marlon Brando's Oscar for some reason.
What? Okay.
And like a painting like this. It might have been a Picasso or it was like an original, like very expensive painting.
Yeah.
And because it was all legal activity, Leonardo DiCaprio had to give that stuff back.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they also gave Miranda Kerr a see-through piano. It's very weird, but look up the story of Red Granite Productions. It's quite interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, see, that is weird. Like, I don't imagine that if I ended up with $1 gazillion, I'd all of a sudden be like, might get an original Picasso just to chuck on my wall.
But I'm more interested about the specific, like Marlon Brando's Oscar is a very specific one.
That's very specific.
Could you think of like an odd specific thing? If someone's like, that's Dennis Hopper's chair.
Yeah.
Would you be like, I kind of want that. You know?
Probably a lock of Sarah Michelle Gellar's hair.
Oh, no, I shouldn't. For cloning, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because then I'll buy that cloning machine. And that's when, Yeah, that's when that'll come into fruition.
But what if someone was like, this is Sarah Michelle Gellar's like Teen Choice Award? Because obviously she never won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Surprisingly, Canberra.
But
to the angry fans, the angry Buffy fans in the world, she should have got it.
If someone was like, this is Sarah Michelle Gellar's Teen Choice Awards, you're a gazillionaire.
Yeah.
Like, it's $150,000 for
it's
the
almost,
Teen
you know
Choice
what? It is tempting. Now that I've got all this money, I may as well buy irrelevant things. I think it would be like, I would just be buying it to just like kind of have a laugh.
Yeah.
Like have people over and be like, hey, check this out. It's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I reckon you'd buy it just so you can be like, get me contact information for Sarah Michelle Gellar. I've got something to return.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Hey, I think you might have dropped this.
Come over, we'll have dinner, I'll give it back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, don't bring the husband, obviously.
How long into that contract are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what is something that you would buy? Like, do you think, not necessarily something famous or crazy, but do you think you might start a collection just because of something now? Because you're like, I've got all this money, you know?
I mean, I know Nick Cage did it, but Action Comics #1. I mean, I've got a Wolverine #1 sitting on my wall.
Yeah.
That's not a super expensive comic, but it is a few $100s.
Yeah.
Action Comic #1 is like in the millions.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's like for comic book nerds like me, it's the ultimate flex.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, the rarest comic on Earth.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
I got one. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that's good. I would do Pokemon cards.
Right. One of those rare holographic ones.
Yeah, not because I'm that interested in Pokemon anymore, but I feel like I let my younger self down at approximately age 10 when I was just like, this is too hard to accumulate all these. I did some, I'm going to say I did some bad trades. Okay, but I remember one day I traded a holographic Blastoise. For several other cards because I was all about attaining more rather than rarity
over quality.
Quantity over quality.
Which is normally what we like on this show.
I know. But I regret that decision to this day. I think it sort of came down to the fact that the friend, as soon as he did that, started laughing. He was like, yeah, all right, I got it. And then like all these other friends are like, yeah, you got it. I was like, maybe I should, can we do that back?
What if you spend all your money trying to make something trend again that hasn't trended in a while just so you'd be at the front of it? Like what if you started buying up all of the Beanie Babies?
Okay.
In an effort to kickstart the market for Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
So then you're like, well, I've got the most.
Then resell them again and then buy something else ridiculous. Yeah.
Tarzos or something.
I think maybe this is how I become rich. Yeah, this is how it starts.
It's like how people would start with a paperclip and they trade their way to like a Corvette or something like that.
Yeah,
this will be you. You'll start different trends.
Yeah.
You'll buy up stock when they're low.
Paperclips, There's a collection not many people are doing, but they will. Okay, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought is by Apple Eye Junkie. If one day...
Is that Apple Eye Junkie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes
Apple
more
Eye
sense.
Then, Anyway. They said, if one day we cure aging and all diseases, we will all die horrible deaths.
Well, I don't know whether I should say this because it is a spoiler for The Good Place.
Oh.
Did you watch The Good Place?
Yeah, sort of. I've only watched like parts when you've watched it. I get the gist.
Do you mind if I spoil the ending?
You can spoil the ending, but everybody else knows.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. From this point on, skip maybe 4 to 5 minutes ahead.
Okay. That's quite a lot. Okay.
Just be safe.
Okay. And then if that's too far, rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
But until we say, that's the end of the spoilers.
Not too far, though.
But not when I just said, that's the end of the spoilers then. Oh, my God. This is going to be so
This is why it's going to be 4 to 5 minutes because of all of this that we've added.
They've already skipped ahead.
Anyway.
Gonna get to the end of the 5 minutes and be like, okay, here's the spoiler.
At the end of The Good Place, they get to The Good Place and they realize that once you're there, you can't die.
Yep.
And nobody's happy because life has no meaning because you just keep going on.
Okay.
And the concept is that when you're ready to, you can then leave The Good Place and you go.
Okay, you just cease existing.
You cease existing.
Okay.
And it gives people purpose again.
Right.
And I think that is probably what would end up happening is a lot of people would be like, I've lived 200-300 years now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's long enough. Anyway, the point is like, whatever it is that you're like, existence sucks now. I guess.
Yeah.
And I think there would be like a lot of like euthanasia to be like, I'm done. I've done everything I need to do.
I think.
Sorry, spoilers are over.
Spoilers are now.
Yeah.
At this point.
And if you dropped in right as we said that, well done.
What? You've done great. That wasn't 4 to 5 minutes ahead though.
Yeah. Email us in though and tell us that you did.
When we're in Podnapping, they'll come back. Anywho, I think that is a really interesting concept. The fact that when death is no longer an option, it would maybe life becomes perhaps less interesting.
Yeah.
Because moments aren't as special or something.
Life is
like
kind of wonderful because it is finite, right?
Yeah.
Like you have a certain amount of time on this earth to do everything you want to do. And if that is not a factor anymore, then why would you ever really do anything?
Yeah.
You'll just get to it later.
Yeah.
We certainly wouldn't do this podcast. I tell you that.
Oh my God.
Time is finite and life is precious and we barely want to do it now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what, Cambo, what are we doing?
I think that's a billboard.
Yeah.
Life is precious. Time is finite. We barely want to do this.
And you barely want to listen.
It's just us smiling on the billboard. They're like, are they happy about this?
I'm confused.
What's the tone of the show?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think it would be funny maybe if you do hear that people are going to die horrible deaths. Like that's only however you hear about deaths in the future. A horrible plane crash, some sort of, people getting squished in car accidents, things like that. And if that becomes the only form of how you know death to be, right? You end up, it could be like generations and generations from now, where all you hear about is how horrible death is because it's not ever peaceful. The society might become super paranoid.
Yeah.
And it would if this.
If you think it's a nanny state now.
Yeah.
Just you wait.
I thought that'd be funny.
But yeah, disease would get a lot of people.
They're saying curing all diseases.
Oh, so curing all diseases.
Yeah. It would only be
gunshots. Just gunshots.
Anvil on the head.
I wouldn't mind going in a very funny way.
Yeah.
Because it's horrible to me at the time, but if I knew that people were like, really?
People would talk about that for a long time. Yeah. They'd be like, a guy literally died because somebody dropped an anvil on his head.
like one of the pianos fell out of the sky, like in cartoons.
Yeah. It had the words Acme on the side of it. Just by chance.
If I walked off a cliff but didn't realize I'd walked off a cliff and walked on air for several meters until I looked down and was like, gulp, and then I fell.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
If that's the way I go out, that's great.
That's how I'm going to try and go out. Okay, here's another one. This is by CDPDK. Control C, Control V is cool, but Control Z is not getting enough credit for how many lives it saved over the years. This is very true, I think.
Yeah.
I think, especially so when you're on a web page or something, and you've typed something up, maybe taking a little while, and there's no...
Also, just for Apple iJunkie.
Oh,
that's Command Z to you, just in case you didn't know what this was.
Yeah. Fucking idiots. But it is like the feeling of when something like that happens, it deletes everything, and you're like, oh my God, and you press Control Z, Command Z. You're like, oh my God, it feels like a weight has been lifted off your shoulder at that moment. You're like, I don't know what people did before Control Z existed. I think that's why computers didn't come into existence for a while. People are like, oh, we've invented this thing, but turns out if you delete something, it's very hard to get back.
But there's also in a lot of, especially I know the Office suite has this. There's also now a backup called Versions, that you can go into as well. And there's definitely a generational thing here because there was a shared document and I accidentally deleted something off this shared document.
Yeah.
And this older boss of mine was like freaking.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God. Like, because it was like a pretty meaty paragraph. But he wanted it for something else.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think I opened his like third eye.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, go into versions. And I clicked the versions and it just reappeared. He's like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's right. It is funny. But Cambo, it's very common. People say you learn from your mistakes. If we can undo mistakes now, are we really learning?
I haven't learned anything in years.
Yeah.
I won't learn a lesson.
Yeah.
I refuse.
It's so long as we use computers.
Yeah.
We will never learn. I'm okay with that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've learned all I need to know.
I'd prefer to undo my mistakes than make them. Actually, remember the time when we did one podcast episode. We recorded the whole thing.
Yep.
And I deleted it because I thought, oh, this will be a laugh. And then I was like, I couldn't Ctrl Z it or something. Something else was happening, and I couldn't get it back.
You couldn't get it back, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I think I should save it because I was like, I think it's here. I just can't get it back.
Yeah.
But then I think the saving it.
Yeah, you saved
made
the blankness
way worse
over what was potentially there.
That to me is annoying. Yeah. Now, these days, if you have a program where you can save it but still not undo something,
and you've
made a bad program.
We did end up re-recording that episode,
and
releasing it. And I don't know what number it is, but if you're like listening back, and you get to an episode where you're like, oh, they sound pissed.
Yeah,
just know that's the one that we had to re-record.
That was the episode. Yeah. I'm like, welcome to Reddit on Reddit. I'm Nelson, joined by Cambo.
Fuck off!
Yeah, that's how that one went. Okay.
Was that still when we were recording in a cupboard under the stairs?
Yeah, I think it
like Harry Potter.
Been. Yeah.
If Harry Potter did a podcast, he'd definitely do it in the cupboard under the stairs.
I didn't get any magic there. It was a bit disappointing.
I did.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, I'll do one last quick one, Cambo.
Oh, gosh.
No. Okay, this can be a quick one. We don't have to talk about it. This is by Desert Trends. Or is it Dessert Trends?
Ooh.
No, it's Desert.
I'd be more interested if it was Dessert Trends.
If you have to wear a wristband that says it, you're not a VIP. It's so good.
This is great.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I really like that.
All right, Gambo, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped. Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another podcast. Sometimes we make up segments ourselves. This week it's your week.
Yes.
But before you start, I actually want to get the listeners to help me if they can. So
classic.
So it's my week coming up.
Yep.
And for those that don't know, the way that I've been doing my podnapping segments is I've been creating the names of a podnapping segment, and then I come up with the basis of what that's actually going to be afterwards.
Yeah.
I came up with one that I was almost certain was going to get picked, and it in fact has the most votes, which is called Rambo Cambo versus the World. So I need the listeners' help in this one. I've created a Google form. I'll put it on our social medias, our subreddit,
and in the episode notes,
that.
we can link it as well.
In the episode notes. Yep. So I need all the listeners. Please, even if you haven't written in or anything to the show before, I'd really love for you to go on there. The more people that do it, I think kind of the better it will go. So you just have to go on there. It's like really easy. You'll understand what it means when you go there. But it's for my next segment, Rambo Cambo versus the World.
I've been sworn off viewing it.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to look at it.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you, Nelson. I'm going to use reverse psychology. Don't you dare fill out that form. I don't want you to.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, classic.
But yeah, it's very easy. So I'll post it there. So please fill it in. It should only take a few minutes. Hopefully you guys just enjoy reading through it anyway. And I'm good. So we'll do that next week.
Yep, great. So my week. So this actually came from This American Life, the podcast.
Okay.
Very popular.
Yep.
I wasn't
Never heard of it.
I wasn't listening to it, obviously. It was Stacey.
Yeah.
I just overheard this and I thought that was funny.
Okay.
And he was just reading out Google reviews for famous places.
Okay.
But he's reading out 1-star reviews
Okay,
of those famous places. And I thought that's kind of funny. What I'll do is I'll steal it.
Yeah.
And even though
that's what we do.
Yeah,
Podnapping.
This started off as like, oh, maybe we'll do a topic of conversation, but we now is pretty much turned into games.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah,
I've just gamified this. So what I've done is I've gone on to a bunch of famous World Heritage like locations or famous landmarks, and I've got 1-star reviews.
Yep.
And I'm going to read you a 1-star review, and I want you to tell me where you think the review was for.
Okay. All right. Oh boy.
And then after, I've got a bunch of other 1-star reviews for the same location to kind of,
Okay. Yeah.
pad this segment out.
Cool. It's what we do on this podcast.
So this is from This American Life, but I've called this the dark side of Google reviews.
Okay.
1-star reviews for famous landmarks.
Nice.
So this review is from Malachi or Malachi. I don't know how they've spelled it.
It'd
Anyway,
be Malaki, right? If it's an Australian place.
no. These aren't Australian.
Sorry,
These are from all around the world.
Okay.
But that's the person's name. Too much metal for my taste. 1 star.
Too much metal
Too much metal for my taste.
Okay.
1 star.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna. Oh my god! I'm gonna guess that this is for the Eiffel Tower.
Incorrect.
Do you know what?
I didn't tell you I've got those still.
Oh, you got. I'm so glad you made them a lot shorter.
Yeah.
But that's funny because I think the Eiffel Tower has too much metal for my taste.
Right. I'll give you one more go and then I'll tell you. Too much metal. 1 star.
Too much metal.
Sorry, for my taste. Too much metal for my taste. 1 star.
Are they tasting the metal?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe, but
They
that's
probably
not
shouldn't.
what you do at this place.
I mean, it could be a few, but like it could be like a bridge, perhaps, that is all metallic. So it could be like the Sydney Harbour Bridge, or it could be like the San Francisco. What's that bridge? You know, the one in San
Golden
Francisco.
Gate.
Yeah, people know it. Okay, I'll go with. I'll go with Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah, I need you to say lock it in, Eddie.
Lock it in, Eddie. Oh,
That is a 1-star review for the Statue of Liberty.
oh really?
I will have you know that it has a 4.7 star rating overall, the Statue of Liberty.
Okay, 4.7.
Yeah.
That's really funny that I just don't. I mean, it's going to be the same with all of these.
Yeah.
But I would have no interest in either rating a landmark or reading people's ratings.
This is what, because this had kind of, even before this is on This American Life, because I work in tourism now, I have found out that this is a thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people review like inanimate objects.
Yeah. Why too much metal? It doesn't make me think that when I've been there.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, this is so metallic.
Yeah. Well, I've got some other 1-star reviews for the Statue of Liberty if you'd like to hear them.
Yes, please go for it.
Ken says, supposed to be a gift or something? Not sure I get it. Nice boat ride though. 1 star.
Okay. He even said nice boat.
Yeah.
Right? That's at least a 2, mate.
He's just saying that he guesses it was a gift or something. Look, it's not
Is
for him.
he talking about like for the French when the French gave it to you?
Yeah. I mean, I assume.
Not like his gift to go to the. Okay, yeah.
Philip says, this was a big green statue and it was very boring. No hot dogs. 1 star.
No hot dogs.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fair enough.
And
if I go to the Statue of Liberty, I assume there will be hot dogs. Like just anywhere in America, actually.
And KD, her review confuses me. She says, a marvelous piece of history. 1 star.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if she knew what she was doing exactly.
The rating system is not always clear, Cambo. Sometimes people say, oh, I want to be number 1 in the world.
Yeah.
1, in that case, superior to 5.
Golfing rules.
Golfing rules.
Yeah.
Get the lower, the better.
All right. This is a new landmark now.
Okay.
The review is from Calla.
Yeah.
And it's a concerning one. Fun, but my kids didn't make it home. 1 star.
What? My kids didn't make it home.
Yeah.
Is that actually relevant to the landmark? Or
once you know the landmark, it becomes even more concerning.
Okay. Is it a I want to say it's like a theme park?
No, not a
Okay.
theme park. And
Okay.
I'll give you this hint. It's a naturally occurring thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a man-made structure.
Okay.
It's naturally occurring.
Oh, Niagara Falls.
No. Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
No, that is a 1-star review for Uluru.
Oh, what?
So Calla thought it was fun, but her kids didn't make it home. Now, for people that don't know, Uluru is... I mean, I'm sure people know Uluru, but there's nothing around it. It's in the middle of nowhere. To get there, you take like a 3 to 4 hour drive to get there because it's very, very barren.
Yeah.
So if your kids didn't make it home...
Is that maybe a joke because the dingo ate my baby?
It could be.
Was around Uluru, I think, at the time.
maybe.
So.
Oh, was she around Uluru?
I think so. Yeah. I think it was that area.
Could be that then.
Yeah.
There are a couple other 1-star reviews for Uluru.
Okay.
Max said, "Big rock, 1 star."
Well, he's not wrong, though.
Yeah. And then Shannon, let me see if you can work out what kind of person Shannon might be.
Okay.
Could be awesome. However, you are now restricted from where you can go due to a belief system that not many people follow. Even though many sacred sites exist, the community has sought to ban people from climbing on this rock.
Oh, no.
Yes, Shannon is annoyed just because
racist.
it's culturally significant to a race of people.
Yeah.
She can't climb on it.
Yeah. She's really annoyed the country. I actually hate the fact that when they announce okay, people aren't going to be able to climb this in the near future.
By the way, you've got 2 years to go and climb it.
Everybody's going out there and be like, well, better climb it now. But it's oh no, I feel like we've missed it. We should have just been okay, as of tomorrow, nobody can climb it. But yeah.
But this is my favorite
Very
one.
sacred to Aboriginals. I don't know if that was clear. Just to people who don't know.
Very sacred Aboriginals.
It's meant to be.
And they were like, hey, maybe stop climbing down.
Yeah, maybe so. Hey, you know how you took over all our land? Can we just have this one bit back?
Because you got Christ the Redeemer, right? In Rio de Janeiro, I think.
Yeah.
If people are climbing, fuck yeah. You'd be like, hey, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite 1-star review for Uluru.
Yeah.
No customer service. My food never arrived, and I got in a fight with a kangaroo. Overall, it was a horrible trip. 1 star.
I mean, some people rate that 5 stars if you got into a fight with a kangaroo.
All right, this is a new landmark.
Yeah. Okay.
This is by Nathaniel. And where do you think this is? It was very cool to see the White House. It was nice seeing where the president lives. I recommend visiting this important building. Please note that we did not actually enter the White House interior. We only saw the outside. I must see when you visit DC. I was overwhelmed with how incredible and noteworthy this place is. We also got to see the president fly over, which was pretty cool. Where is that a 1-star review of?
Okay. So they're not actually reviewing the White House, but they mention it a lot.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Uluru 4.5 overall rating.
Oh, okay. Still a pretty great place.
Pretty great.
But they've given a 1-star review because they talk about it's actually quite a good place.
This is a 1-star review for some reason.
For some reason, I'm confused.
They thought it was cool to see the White House. They thought it was cool to see where the president lives. They said you must see it if you're in DC, and they got to see President fly over. Where is that a 1-star review of?
Okay. I'm not sure. This is where my mind is going, and I don't perhaps know DC well enough. But is there a tall lookout building or something that you can go?
A tall look. Not that I know. None that are hugely famous. I don't think. There's obviously there's the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial and stuff like that. But none of those are lookouts or anything like that.
Because I was wondering if they're just a few miles back and they're overlooking the White House.
I will give you this hint.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew what they were doing when they wrote this review.
Okay. Oh my God.
Now, where do you think this is a 1-star review of?
Were they watching it on TV or something stupid like that?
So you think it is a 1-star review of the White House?
I mean, no, but okay. Yes. I've got nothing else.
No, this is a 1-star review of the Eiffel Tower. This was
what?
When you filter by 1-star reviews, this is the top 1-star review of the Eiffel Tower. It was cool to see the White House. It's nice to see where the president lives.
That is so confusing.
So there's 4.6 rating overall.
Okay.
Eiffel Tower. Pretty good.
Yep.
Better than Uluru. Not as good as Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Cal says, the effort of this tower was poor work on the builder's part. Isn't this supposed to be a roller coaster? Trash tower, 1 star.
A roller coaster. Trash tower.
Trash tower, 1 star.
I mean, towers that come to mind, Leaning Tower of Pisa. Mm-hmm. Roller coaster, not quite sure.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, Stoneham Will says, they should really take this down because tall people, like myself, risk hitting their heads while walking through the park. Very dangerous, 1 star.
Right.
Walk around it.
Walk around it, man.
Look around. Also, how tall are you?
How tall is he? Aren't the legs like quite...
Yeah. But this is my favorite one. This is from Thomas. Yeah. And I don't know whether Thomas was maybe mistaken and maybe he didn't go to the right place. Yeah. But he says, this wasn't even there when I went. Please be more consistent, 1 star. So, please be more consistent. I don't know if Thomas went to the Eiffel Tower. I'll be honest with you. I think he didn't.
I think he went to
like just somewhere else.
The White House. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a new place. Man-made. I'll give you that hint.
Okay.
Kaylin says, terrible experience. My goat died while I was there. 1 star.
Okay. Goat died by the Machu Picchu.
It's a good guess.
Yeah.
It's a good guess. No, but you think of
Niagara Falls.
No, think of like great human achievements, like landmarks that are great human achievements.
Great Wall of China.
No, that was a 1 star review for the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Oh.
The Great Pyramids of Giza, sorry.
Right.
4.6 overall.
Okay.
There's a couple other 1 star reviews for it.
Why did a goat die?
I don't know.
That's the real question.
Kaylin didn't go into detail, but she did have a sad face emoji at the end. Good Girl said, it's just a pyramid built by Egyptians. No point to go there. 1 star. James.
Honestly, that sounds like something I'd say.
James.
I've seen it on TV. What's it?
James said, awful way to spend Yom Kippur. 1 star. And Derek says, never been there. 1 star.
Never been there. Well,
I like Derek's style.
Yeah, exactly. I should start rating things that I've never been to.
Yeah. This is from Cal. A couple years old, this one.
Because then you could be like, Hiroshima, 5 stars, never been there. Something like that.
This is a new location.
Yeah.
This is a review from Cal a couple years ago. Not very impressive. 2 stars if they install Wi-Fi. It's 2018. 1 star.
They want to install Wi-Fi. Oh my God, it's going to be somewhere super historic, isn't it? That's like...
Also man-made, I'll say that.
Sistine Chapel.
No, not Sistine Chapel.
The also
I can give you a pretty big hint because you haven't won any yet.
No, okay.
You've said it.
Oh, I've said it.
Yeah, it's one of the landmarks you've already guessed.
Leaning Tower of Pisa. Oh, no. One more. Give me one more. Okay. Where else did I say? Oh, my God. Great Wall of China? Nah, that one didn't make sense.
That is a 1 star review for Machu Picchu.
What? Machu Picchu? That doesn't even make sense. Wi-Fi? You have Wi-Fi there? What an idiot. Yeah. They didn't even say... Wi-Fi is not even the correct term at all. Like, maybe they didn't have mobile signal and they could have... Wi-Fi... Oh, my God.
I've got another one here just from Kenley. She said, it will suck you. I got attacked by a bird. 1 star.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I think... can we say, is that justified? If you're rating a place, like the person got attacked by a kangaroo and stuff, is it justified to say, well, I'm going to give it 1 star because I didn't want to get attacked?
It depends. Like if it's a wild animal that they've been negligent enough to keep off a leash or something like that, sure. A bird, what control are they really going to have about a bird? You know what I mean?
But their experience was bad.
But is that Machu Picchu's fault? You know what I mean? Like, does that make it any less significant or beautiful? You could say, "Hey, my experience was bad."
Yeah.
But you're rating the location?
Yeah,
you're not rating your experience.
Okay, let's say then you get mugged in around the Sistine Chapel.
Yep.
Because don't they have the highest crime rate? What's that area called again?
Vatican City.
The Vatican City?
Yeah.
It's meant to have the highest crime rate.
So I think a lot of that's because it's so small.
Oh, yeah. It's very small. But if you got mugged there, would you still be like, and Google's like, hey, you better review this. You've been to this place. You're going to be like, 5 stars.
Yeah.
Because technically the chapel was great. I did
I
lose a
think
kidney in the process.
I like to think I would have enough sense to be like, I will recuse myself of a review. My opinion will be skewed by the mugging.
Google's got a gun to your head, mate.
That's true. Okay, there's 2 more.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. This is a place you've already guessed as well.
Okay.
Larry says, if I could give this place 0 stars, I would. My son was hungry and we waited hours for food only to find they did not have any. I spent money and time walking aimlessly for 6 hours with my 4-year-old son. They need to add food or gift shops. Never going back. Do not recommend. 1 star.
I think that is the Great Wall of China.
That is the Great Wall of China.
Yay! Ding! Give me a ding, goddammit! Woo! I was starting to believe you didn't put a ding in there.
That's a Great Wall of China. I'll let you know 4.2 rating overall. Lowest so far.
Right. Yeah, well. If you get hangry, Campo, you're going to rate that pretty poorly.
A lot of people in the 1-star reviews making the same joke. Not so Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
But I got a couple other 1-star reviews. Mm-hmm. This one is a troll, but I think it's funny. Might be great, but it didn't stop the Mongols from invading. 0 out of 10.
You know what? That's probably the best one out there.
William said it's just a wall. Also, there are too many tourists. 1 star. But Fraser is interesting. Said was fun. I enjoyed it. Would rate it 5 stars if I could.
But he
can.
He couldn't. He couldn't do it. He pressed the 5 stars and went straight to one.
So it's like we got it 1 star.
Yeah.
All right. One more place.
Okay.
This
one
is
more.
The last one. Also somewhere that you have guessed.
Okay.
It's from Moses. Nothing so special, just historically marvelous, which you can Google anyway. Again, Italians are not very good people when it comes to customer service. 1 star.
Italians. Oh, that must be a Leaning Tower of Pisa, right?
Oh. No, it's the other Italian place you mentioned.
Oh, Sistine Chapel?
Okay. There's a 1-star review for the Sistine Chapel. Rated 4.7 overall.
Okay.
Bert also said, I got kicked out of here because I was wearing shorts. Shorts? They weren't even that short. 1 star.
That's so funny.
And my favorite one is Rick. And I think Rick was going through some stuff when he wrote this.
Yeah.
He said, I love Jesus, but hated this place. They get really angry if you try and take a photo because it cuts into merch sale. Instead of doing what Jesus would do, flip their tables, I took a photo in an attempt to get kicked out so I could skip the long group march to the exit. Didn't work. Have the picture, though. I should sell it on Etsy.
Oh, my God. What a fucking idiot.
Now, I think if there's one thing... Okay, the first thing about Sistine Chapel is the ceiling.
Yeah.
Second thing is that you can't take photos.
Yeah.
It's so well known.
Yeah. The 1 and 2 of the Sistine Chapel. Yeah. Step 1, look up.
Yeah. Step 2, don't take a photo.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
Some people out there are idiots.
And I should mention, someone wrote in with a podnapping that was similar in vein to that about 1-star reviews.
They did too.
Yeah.
But that was, you had already decided you were going to do this one, and then they came in. That's right. I thought that was so amazing that happened.
But we might try and do another twist on it, maybe.
Something like that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was amazing. Okay, now we can get into Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Yes. So I have one here from Ethan.
Okay.
It says, AMA, gentlemen, I have another 2 questions for you. 1, will you ever do a live podcast on Twitch? And 2, what is your favorite eating utensil, brackets, cutlery? Yours sincerely, the Ethan, the 3rd best human being after you 2, and who also sometimes refers to himself in the 3rd person.
Oh.
That's a very long title, but we will refer to you as that always.
What I want to know, Cambo, is he's the 3rd best human.
After us.
Yep.
Yeah.
But who's 1 and 2 out of us?
Well,
I think we know, Cambo. I
it's
think we don't have to say it, but we both know.
Here's the thing. You won the What is the Rules game. But also you didn't go to listening school.
I didn't go to listening
Someone
school.
will need to calculate who's won more games.
Yeah, that's right. Because there's a few that, like that one, I failed at misery. But I feel like there wasn't really a competition between the both of us. There's some that they are like that. Okay. So actually, maybe next week there might be something that determines this.
Okay, interesting. Let's start with number 2 first.
Okay.
What is your favorite eating utensil?
Eating utensil.
Look, I'm a fan of a spoon.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say spoon.
Yeah.
I knew you
Because
were
I
going
think
to say that.
you can cut with a spoon if you try.
Yeah.
You scoop things up with a spoon, like
Yeah.
cereal. But also, most things you eat with a fork, you can probably eat with a spoon.
Yeah. Noodles are harder to eat.
Noodles
with a
are harder.
spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
or
true.
pasta or, those sort of things.
Noodles you eat with your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Grab a bunch of noodles, shove them in your face.
Shove it in your face. Very easy.
If you're eating noodles with a fork, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, what are you doing, mate? You've got hands. Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, you could go splayed,
A spade.
which is just a combination of everything.
Pretentious.
How do you? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. So you like the fact that the spoon can do other
like that
things,
it's the
but
underdog.
as soon as it gets multiple functionality on purpose, that's when you're like, no.
You look at the spade, right? Shaped a bit like a spoon, has the fork prongs, has the serrated. And you're like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah,
You're
you know
taking
what?
3
I take it
people's
back.
jobs.
I do hate the spade now. Okay, no, but this is my one. Okay, very specific. Here's it's a spoon also, but it's a particular spoon.
Okay.
It's you get it a lot with like Asian dishes. So I want to say it's probably Chinese.
I know the one you're talking
and
about.
it's the spoons that's
Yeah.
like kind of a little boat.
Yeah.
and then it has a longer sort of handle that you can hook onto the end
Almost
of your
like
bowl.
a ladle?
Like a
In a way?
ladle, like
Yeah.
a small ladle.
I do like that.
Those are the best
Yeah.
spoons. You know what? They really screwed up on the chopsticks, okay? They're like, hey, you know what's great for food? 2 sticks. Terrible idea. But when it came to the spoon, they really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Because they're like kind of deep. You can get a little bit more, I feel like, soup or whatever at the time.
Yep.
You can put stuff on the spoon, like a dumpling or something.
Yep.
It holds it a bit more.
Question, how are they for scooping things off a plate? Because they're a little thicker.
They're thicker
So
around
are
the
they
edge.
harder to scoop? Because I've never eaten anything with them that you requires like scooping, I guess.
Like, do you mean more of
Like,
like
so you-
maybe pumpkin soup that's like a bit
But
thicker?
I'm saying if you have peas, because you need to eat this.
Oh, peas.
If you're
Oh,
using this
sorry.
cutlery
Yeah,
as an
yeah.
all-rounder,
Yeah,
and you've got
yeah.
peas, could you scoop peas onto that? Because once you got the peas are in there, great.
Probably.
You've got so many peas in there.
Yeah. There is a version of this spoon that has like a bladed edge and
right.
also some.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, I fucking hate it. But that one, sure,
okay.
technically. You
Well,
could.
there you go.
But anyway,
I like
that's
spoons
good.
in general. Asian spoons for you
Yeah.
with the weird little boat bit and the ladle handle.
Can I also say utensil? Not necessarily cutlery, but I love a good potato masher.
Okay.
You know?
What makes a good potato masher from a bad potato masher?
I feel like the weight of it.
Okay.
It needs to be a bit heavier.
Yeah, if it's too flimsy and plastic, yeah.
it doesn't feel
Yeah, I see
good.
what you're
And
saying.
like,
Yeah.
and I feel like the holes have to be right, like not too big, not too small.
Okay.
It has to be satisfying when you mash it.
Less interestingly, will we ever do a live podcast on Twitch?
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been saying to Kemba I wanted to do it for ages.
Yeah, and
but
I've been saying when you pay me.
yeah.
It's $6,000 per episode.
Yeah. And I said, well, when they pay us. So.
Yeah. So we've been testing out lately webcams.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, this is such a back and forth, this show. Like one person talks to the other and whatnot. That you kind of need a system that will
Bit
be
of editing.
Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
editing, even if that's like just a program that will switch between them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The problem we have at the moment really is a computer strong enough to both record the podcast in high enough quality and record the video in high enough quality. And both of our computers kind of suck.
Yeah. We need something, I think,
A little more
to
powerful.
make sure that we don't screw anything up.
Yeah.
I think we need something sort of a bit more powerful. But we might do that in future.
Yes. It is something that we're interested in doing.
we might do something separate on Twitch where it's not necessarily an episode, but
it'll be me counting the money that Nelson paid me.
I think I mentioned, I think I mentioned it the other day. Maybe doing some Jackbox games or something with the listeners, because everybody can kind of join that from all over the world at different times. We might do that for something special, like maybe our 200th episode or something like that. So we'll do sort of that thing.
But what if we can ever figure out a way to do it, like properly, then yes, we will. But I don't know how close we are to that.
Yeah, it's going to cost you $6,000
per episode.
Per episode.
Once that Patreon
hits, it's $12,000. But yes, I would actually love to do a live show.
Yeah,
one day. I think we're really far away from that, but that would be fun. I reckon one day. Yes.
Yeah, and like we have every year the Melbourne Comedy Festival, in which so many Melbourne podcasts do live shows. Ones that I would say have less listeners than us.
Yeah.
But that's effort, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seems like a lot of legislation to get into that thing.
Oh, no, thank you. Okay. This next one is by Hallie. Obligatory gentleman greeting. Are you getting sick of Reddit for any reason? I only joined recently and the amount of reposts physically hurts sometimes. The monitors seem to go over the top at times as well. Next, not a follow-up question, but a challenge. In brackets, haven't heard a rule about that. Each of you join a subreddit, one you have not read or do not typically read, and make a post. Okay. Whoever gets more upvotes wins the official title Gentleman, and the other is Cambo.
Oh, what?
Just kidding. That was really mean. Not that I don't have faith in you, Cambo, but I have more faith in this. I mean, it sounds like she doesn't have faith in you.
This is. Oh my God, I can't believe this.
In all seriousness, I love you both and your podcast. I actually write quotes from your podcast on Post-its with a coworker.
Wow.
That's awesome. Hallie, P.S. I'm not making a MySpace account.
Yes, you are.
Well.
Okay, if I win this competition next week.
Okay.
Hallie, you have to make a MySpace account and put Reddit Podcast as your number one friend.
You better do it. Okay? That is, you have to do it.
You have slighted me in this email. Mm-hmm. You've used my name as a punchline.
Yeah.
And that's not just insulting me, but my family. Yeah. It's insulting my house.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's the least she could do. If I win, she needs to...
Okay. But Hallie, because I understand how bad MySpace is, I will also try very hard for you.
And Hallie, no, I will try very hard to get all those upvotes because I want you to join MySpace.
Yeah. Cam is going to create so many Reddit accounts just to win.
I'm gonna repost so much. It works.
Reposting works every time. No, I like the idea that it has to be from a subreddit that you don't typically go to or read, because I think that makes it a lot more difficult.
Question then.
Yeah.
Do we assign each other a subreddit to play fair? And it can't
I think it could be tricky to do that.
It can't be like, I don't know, hentai or something like that. Okay. But maybe it's like
it's trending upwards, Cameron.
But maybe it's like carpentry or something like that, where you're like, it's neutral ground.
Yeah.
Or would you want us to pick our own?
I think the problem is getting upvotes, I think really does depend on the amount of activity followers has.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
particular sub has, because if you don't have that many followers, you can get 10 upvotes, which is like amazing because there's only 100 people in there.
We are gentlemen, as the email points out. So we have a gentleman's agreement that we'll pick something fair and balanced.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's good.
All right.
All right. I guess we'll work on that one. Should we do it 2 weeks from now then, maybe, or something? I don't know. We'll work it out.
We won't forget.
Yeah. But she also had another question. Are you getting sick of Reddit for any reason? The amount of reposts physically hurts.
It does.
You know what? Absolutely. Hallie, I don't know. I feel like... maybe this is stupid to assume, but I feel like I'm in a unique situation because when I do the show notes, I have to make sure that we haven't had something that's been reposted before, or at least I very much try to make sure we haven't had something that's, we've said before.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like I'm more acutely aware of when these reposts come up because I scroll further in the same, like in Ask Reddit, in Shower Thoughts, in Today I Learned, I feel like I scroll further than probably most people do. Because even if you're just somebody that like looks at your general feed, you might not go through all the really low Ask Reddit ones, you know.
Yep.
But I go through a lot. I feel like I see more reposts than the average person just because how much I have to go through. And it really sucks sometimes. It's like, especially when I have a week, like there's some weeks I really struggle to get the show notes together.
Yeah.
And in those weeks, it feels like it's because a lot of the top voted ones are just reposts and we've already spoken about it before. And really, it's really annoying. Yeah. Physically hurts, Campo.
I find that on Reddit, I have like only subscribed to specific subreddits I'm interested in, and I actually hide a lot of that I'm not.
Yeah.
So to me, it's actually kind of okay.
Yeah.
Because it is so curated to me, and I reckon go on it maybe once a day.
Yeah.
Normally towards the end of the day.
Yeah.
I take a little scroll through Reddit. Yeah. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, yeah. You haven't seen the worst.
No.
Yeah. But it's all right. It's good. It had some good enough moments that I think, you know, it's worth it. Reddit's a good place.
Yeah.
Especially any podcast that may come from the website, particularly, except the official one.
Oh, never ever listen to Endless Thread.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. We never have.
Yeah.
We never will.
Yes, that's right. But thank you for writing in, Hallie and Ethan. Yep, definitely.
Say his full title.
Ethan, the third best human being after you two.
Who sometimes refers to himself as the third best. Yes, easy. Also, just quickly before you do the wrap up, Endless Thread started after us. Do you reckon they did a deep dive before they started and saw us? And they're like,
I reckon.
Damn it.
Yeah. No, I think they were like, this is fine.
They're just using our logo.
Yeah. I recken if anything, they wanted probably Reddit on Reddit as the podcast name.
Yeah.
Because
we do have a couple people sometimes saying, I thought this was the official Reddit podcast. Yeah. And let me just say to all of you, if you're listening now, gotcha.
Suckers.
We knew you'd think that, and we got you good. All right, in the show.
All right. So if you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast at gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Reddit podcast.
Yep.
I stream on Saturday afternoons in Australia, which is roughly Friday nights in
everywhere else.
Like everywhere else.
Yeah, there's two time zones, Australia and everywhere else.
From New Zealand, and confusingly, it's still on the Friday night. Feel free to check me. Oh, crap. Can I do this? Oh, shit. I don't think I can do this Saturday. You know what? I might do Sunday.
Okay.
Hopefully I can do Sunday, which would be like a Saturday night.
What if you just let people know via any of our media channels?
Yeah. Just follow me.
Yeah.
And then keep the little indication on the Twitch where it sends you an email or a message or something.
Okay.
Do that.
Yeah.
So that I don't have to put in the work.
You put in work so Nelson doesn't have to.
Yeah. But yes, we'd appreciate it if you subscribed also to our podcast. If you haven't subscribed already, we're also rated our show.
If you're not subscribed.
Don't be one of those confused people that gets the 1 and the 5 confused.
Never. Take your time, really think about this. 5 stars only.
Do you know what I'd like you to do? Rate us 5 stars, but then say something bad about a landmark that you've been to.
That I would love that. If you could rate our show 5 stars but review a landmark poorly, that would be great. Also, I've got an action point for this week.
Yeah.
It's very specific. I don't know how many people are going to be in this Venn diagram crossover.
Okay, yeah.
But if you were looking for Reddit podcasts and you have subscribed to Endless Thread, but you haven't yet subscribed to us, unsubscribe from them and subscribe to us.
Do it.
That'll show them.
That'll show up. But yes. Also, just as a reminder, please help me out for my next Podnapping segment. There'll be a Google form that you fill in. Something actually in particular about that is I made it so that you have to sign in because I just wanted one person per entry. So I know that's a bit annoying. I'm not going to use email for anything. It's just for that reason. Only I'm going to send them hentai porn.
It's on the up.
Yeah, they'll appreciate it. But anyway, thanks for listening, and we will read you later.